lived a lot of my life this year once I got this fortune from a fortune cookie at a Buddhist temple in New York City, and I will continue to live the rest of my life this way. And it goes as follows. Here are good questions to ask yourself for your end of the year reflections before moving into 2026. Asking yourself about relationships this year, your personal relationships, your friendships. One of the biggest things this year that I taught myself, sounds weird saying taught myself, came to the realization, it's quite obvious, but it takes people different experiences on different timelines to come to similar resolutions and realizations. For me, this one had to do with friendships, insofar as putting a lot of emotional effort and physical time with someone who you genuinely care about and love as a friend. Maybe not even love, just really care about because you see a lot of potential in people. Trying so hard for them and giving them so much advice, knowing that they're not going to take it and they're going to make the wrong decisions, and then coming back to you for more advice on similar topics, or just, it's just this cycle of disrespect and disregard for not only your time, but the emotional effort you're putting into someone. So letting go of friends who don't respect the attention that you're giving them because you do care a lot about them, and just kind of stepping back and being okay with that. Which decisions kept your life moving forward, and which ones kept your life in a feeling of stagnation? What did you finally let go of that you had been carrying around for a long time? I lied. This is not going to be 10 questions. This is going to be more questions. First of all, did you stick to your resolutions from the year prior? Did you accomplish the goals? Did you stick to the routines? Did you maintain the efforts that you told yourself you would maintain? Which relationships sharpened you and which ones drained you? Emotionally, mentally, physically? What actually changed about you this year? Not happened to you, what changed about you? What did you do that you were most proud of this year? What gave you energy this year, and where did you find it constantly being taken away? Where did you find yourself abandoning your own standards, and why did you do that? Are your standards still the same? And would you have repeated those decisions that you're proud of? For me, a lot of my life had depended on motivation, whereas now it is strictly based upon discipline and execution, embracing the struggle and the hurt of those moments of doing the things you don't want to do because you know what's on the other side. Being less reactive, less distracted by the noise, and being comfortable feeling boring as long as you are progressing. slow progression is still progression. And I think a lot of people need to take a step back to realize that they are progressing. Maybe not as fast as their peers or how fast they would like to be progressing, but I think those thought loops is sort of what gets people down on themselves. I would say the things that gave me energy this year and the things that drained my energy are probably quite common to others. You know, the things that drain your energy are going out too much, allowing other people's opinions and expectations to seep in a little bit too hard, and blurring the lines of who you are and what you genuinely want to be doing with your life. The things that brought me energy and peace were structure, training, eating healthy, sleeping, reading, all of these things that I'm sure we know is good for us and right for us, but tends to be the hardest things to keep ourselves accountable to be doing. Another thing that always exhausts me is tinkering with ideas that you think you're going to follow through with. You know, your next big idea, your next passion, your next career, your next hobby. All of these things are great, but to some extent they are detrimental to your success in the fields where it actually matters. And so I think while I was away training in Thailand, I didn't have an option to do these other things, and it allowed me to focus on what was important at the time, which was preparing for fights, training twice a day, doing all that stuff. I would say 2025 was a year where, I mean, it sounds silly to say that you feel you stopped chasing things revolving around vanity and approval of others and pretty much everything bad when it comes to being online. But I genuinely do think that this year was special to me because of the things that I was able to accomplish, which had been on my shoulders for such a long time. If you are watching this video and you have been following me for a while, you know how important medicine is to my life and how I built my platform off of doing like this pre-med stuff and finally taking the MCAT and applying to medical school and getting into medical school, and then sitting down with myself to ask if it's really what I wanted in my life, and being okay letting it go. You know, that medical school, wanting to be a doctor, pursuit, especially because it's what everyone expected of me and still expects of me. I do plan on staying in the field of medicine, but it's just not for me to be studying for 4 more years and doing 5 years of residency. I don't see that in my future, and that's okay. That was probably the hardest thing of the year for me, to be honest with myself about that. But the relief of doing those things, of sitting down for 3 months and studying and taking the exam and applying and knowing that I can go to med school, was one of the most relieving feelings I've ever had in my life. Like 1,000 tons just off my shoulders. I don't walk around anymore stressed or anxious from the second I wake up to the moment I go to sleep. Also, to be honest with myself, things that I'll probably carry into 2026 is my indecision, because I do still love trying everything. But that's okay because I know how to focus my efforts more on the things I want to do instead of trying to do everything at once. Trying to do 5 different things at once, I keep it to 2 or 3. So that's good. I feel that it might have been good to use some headphones. Also, Apple needs to bring back just giving you wired headphones. It's actually ridiculous that they don't do that anymore. So annoying. So yeah, let's see how we make out here. Bruh. Alright, so here we are. More reflection, more reflections. I'm kind of blanking on these reflection questions now. I mean, obviously, it is good to sit down and ask yourself, all of the things that you did accomplish this year. For me, I'd gotten to travel and live at a Muay Thai gym in Thailand for a few months and push my body to compete. And now I'm pursuing a career in martial arts. So that's great. I took the MCAT, applied, got into medical school, decided not to go. And leaving medical school for martial arts was the hardest decision I probably have made. Being okay with letting part of that life, which was so big and important to me, for something that is temporary and not guaranteed. But what brings me comfort is knowing, next year or within the next 2 years, I'll be in PA school, still in the field of medicine, doing stuff like that. Yeah. Anyways, let's talk about some books. I know I haven't done any book videos before, so let me talk about some of the books I got right here. This is Plato's Republic. This is The Secret Science. This is The Unhappiness of Being a Single Man. I believe that's Kafka. Yep. We have The Blue Octavo, one of his notebooks. We have an absolute banger from Osamu Dazai, The Setting Sun. His second book. His first book, No Longer Human. Absolute banger. Another Osamu Dazai, Self-Portraits. If you don't know what this one is about, I'm not going to tell you. Flowers of the Buffoonery, pretty funny book. written differently than any of Dazai's other works. Another Osamu Dazai book called Schoolgirl. This toolkit for gatherings teaches you how to organize events. Almond by Won Pyong-sung. Pretty crazy book. Weird. And then Viktor Frankl. Mary Shelley. That was actually retarded of me. Mary Shelley. Viktor Frankl wrote the Holocaust book, like, of elements that I have. Frankenstein, Mary Shelley. Really good. Jacob Elordi crushed the movie as well, but, the book is fire. So, yeah. I don't know if I'm going to post this video, but things to ask yourself at the end of the year. I got this really interesting Buddhist fortune cookie that I based a lot of my life off of in 2025, and I probably will continue to live the rest of my life by this fortune cookie that I got at this temple in New York City. My phone cut out while I was recording the Buddhist fortune. So, backstory, I lived a lot of my life this year once I got this fortune from a fortune cookie at a Buddhist temple in New York City, and I will continue to live the rest of my life this way. And it goes as follows. Probability of success in my life is fair. Granted, I follow these 4 rules. You should have all of your plans meticulously made, and all of the details conspicuously laid. Your ability should also be displayed, and you should master all of the tricks of your trade. So, I will succeed, whatever that means, as long as I follow these rules. As someone who's a constant procrastinator, it is a nice reminder to have this hanging up. So shout out to the $1 donation that got me a fortune cookie from a Buddhist temple that will shape my life forever. And as someone who has grown up with distractions of his own doing, bringing procrastination left and right with the best ideas in the world. Hobby, passion, career. Wanting to do everything. Not learning how to siphon into a few of these concepts and really leaning into them. I don't want to be a jack of all trades and a master of none, So I tell myself, as long as I can follow this fortune cookie and make sure the things I want to do in my life are planned, I will succeed. And it seems very obvious and surface level, but sometimes it takes something as simple as a fortune cookie to change your perspective, and you have to hold on to it to remind yourself, or else you will forget. Sort of like when you have a good journaling moment, or you read a good chapter in a book, or you have an amazing conversation with someone and you wish you could remember it forever. It sticks with you, but it just should be on repeat in the back of your head all the time. And yeah, I think more people need to get Buddhist fortune cookies. But I don't know. I did some cool stuff this year. Yeah. It's quite boring of a video, I'm sorry. But this is more of a personal thing, I guess. Yeah. What else do I want to talk about? Oh, real quick, I'm gonna go over my plans. I'm going back to Thailand at the end of January, and I'm gonna live at the MMA gym for a few months and keep fighting. I'm just excited to be back over there. I'll miss my friends and family, but the clarity and the way of life over there when you're so regimented and disciplined and working towards something, there's nothing that compares to it, in my opinion. But yeah, I have this pamphlet here. So this notebook from Muji is a planner. I highly recommend it to anyone. It is formatted as such. Days of the week, graph paper, which in my opinion is perfect because I don't write too much anyways. So this is enough for me to journal, and this is enough for me to write what I'm doing that day or what days. It's pocket sized, and you get your thoughts off. You got to keep it brief, quick, and keep track of your stuff. I didn't do it in 2025, but I will be doing it in 2026. This is my 2024 journal, and yeah, things that I will be doing: early mornings, training twice a day, trying to journal physically, but also on video, which I know I probably won't end up doing, but structuring my schedules around the things that I want to come out of my life, and less so social plans, because those always end up distracting me, falling back into bad habits. I'm pretty strict on my diet right now, so I'm just going to be consistent with my diet. I need to drink more water. I'm not studying for anything right now specifically, but I do want to still include study blocks of time to learn new stuff. Music producing is pretty cool to me, so I think I want to sit down for a few hours every day and learn how to produce music for friends, buy a mic, buy an interface, and then they come over and they just mess around with some vocals, and I can make music for them. I don't want to be the person making the music, but it's cool to be able to do it. Yeah, so if y'all have any questions, just ask, and that was crazy. If you have any questions, just ask, and yep, follow for more tips.